Hello legendary superstars on the planet Earth, how is your mission going? Remember, you decided to take this mission a long time ago. You may be a walk-in, a crawl-in, who really knows, but as long as you find yourself on this mission, that really is the main thing. And a big hello to all Galactic Federation outposts right round the planet Earth, from the United States through Europe, through Asia, and here on the wonderful ancient land of Gondwana. There's some Federation legends popping up all over the place, and we do hope you jump onto the net or jump onto Skype and give this outpost a signal. Let us know you're out there. This movement is on the crest of the wave, and I hope you've got your board and you've waxed it up, because the surfing is about to begin. On this beautiful day, we're going to be crossing over to the boys down at Earth Sanctuary, who will be introducing a wonderful area for global rescue, and on this transmission we'll be looking at floods and the consequences of such for the people on the planet Earth. Boys, take it away.
Okay, Danny, Global Rescue once again. Global Rescue really centres a lot on preparation and response in this time of extreme climate variation, and today we're going to look at floods. And one thing we do and have seen exponentially around the planet, particularly with ice melt and the rest of it, is that there's a fluid shift, and we see cases of extreme deluge of water around the world, places like India and Europe, and even down here in Australia or on the east coast in Queensland. There seems to be a lot more water around.
Yeah, oh absolutely, Tommy. Well, we are warming the planet. We know that we're warming the planet, and a repercussion of warming the planet is an increase in precipitation around the planet. Now, if you're going to increase the amount of water that's being drawn up to the heavens, and that's going to start crossing all over the different parts of the planet Earth, and therefore we're going to have water at odd times. That's the extreme nature of the weather systems here on the planet. We really don't have a model which can identify exactly what the planet's doing. It's a little bit like, as you said, Tommy, it's a fluid shift. The planet's got a fever, it's febrile, and therefore we're going to go through shivers, and we're also going to start getting a little bit hot at the same time. So around the planet we're going to be experiencing, which we already are, some amazing environments which will be deluged.
That's right, Danny, and we know that a vast majority of the world's population live in flood-prone areas, and that's obviously coastal regions of the planet. These regions, as they continue to get inundated with water, it's going to cause us to face a major issue of this current time we're in, and that's displacement of human beings due to environmental conditions. So flood is going to be a major factor in the time we live in. What's it going to mean? It will mean people will have to move and migrate on the planet, and we'll have to look at new and more suitable areas for the migration of people to habitat. Yep. And within that also leads to our other areas of investigation, be it geodesic dome infrastructure and new ways to sustain this inundation of people due to the fact of floods and this fluid shift on the planet. This is Global Rescue. Today we're talking about floods. This is about preparation and response to climate change. Let's take a look.
Beautiful.
Welcome to Global Rescue's investigation into flood activity on the planet Earth. Billions of people will be at greater risk from storms, floods and droughts in the years ahead. In the near future, half the world's population will be living in areas that are at risk from storms and other weather extremes. Extreme weather records are already being broken every single year. The big problem is that most countries aren't ready to deal adequately with the severe natural disasters that we get now, a situation that will become much worse as storms and droughts become more pervasive. The expected climatic change during the 21st century will further intensify the hydrological cycle, with rainy seasons becoming shorter and more intense in some regions, while droughts in other areas will grow longer in duration, which could endanger species and crops and lead to drops in food production globally. From the years 1971 to 1995, floods affected more than 1.5 billion people, or 100 million a year. Of those, 318,000 people were killed and more than 81 million left homeless. In addition, the number of major flood disasters has risen relentlessly. There were 6 in the 1950s, 7 in the 1960s, 8 in the 1970s, 18 in the 1980s, and 26 large-scale floods in the 1990s. So how are humans responsible for the advent of floods occurring around the world? while the most respected scientific bodies have stated unequivocally that global warming is occurring and people are causing it by burning fossil fuels like coal, oil and natural gas and cutting down forest. The US National Academy of Sciences, which in 2005 the White House itself called the gold standard of objective scientific assessment, issued a joint statement with 10 other national academies of science, saying the scientific understanding of climate change is now sufficiently clear to justify nations taking prompt action. It is vital that all nations identify cost-effective steps that they can take now to contribute to substantial and long-term reduction in net global greenhouse gas emissions. Between the years 1973 and 1997, approximately 66 million people suffered flood damage. Between 1987 and 1997, 44% of all the flood disasters affected Asia, claiming 228,000 lives, roughly 93% of all flood-related deaths worldwide. From 1992 to 2001, developing countries accounted for 20% of the total number of disasters and over 50% of all disaster fatalities. Over the past decade, the number of droughts and floods has increased dramatically as environmental conditions have deteriorated and the global climate continues to change. Nearly all of the world's river systems have been altered by human activities. The seesaw effect of droughts followed by floods is becoming more severe. Destruction of forest and wetlands is the main reason, but as climate change sets in, these increasingly destructive cycles are expected to become even worse. Increased global temperatures has caused an increase in global ice melt. The addition to our oceans has caused a fluid shift on our planet, which is going to be unprecedented, and human behaviour will be changed drastically. And what's the reality of fluid shift on the planet Earth? Well, it's human migration. The displacement of people from the advent of floods is increasing worldwide. The vast majority of the human population occupies the coastal regions of the planet, which are now most subject to flooding. Preparation is the key to mitigating our vulnerability to the advent of floods around the world. For more information on preparation for flood activity around the planet, visit millicom.com. We'll see you on the next transmission. Ciao! Okay team, we hope you enjoyed our transmission investigating the advent of floods around the world and the displacement of human beings, which is becoming an exponential problem on the planet Earth. Further to climate change news around the world, let's look at some of the events. We've got 4 events today which have occurred, which are of monumental proportions. The first of which is in Western Europe, where heavy winds and snowfall are causing road, rail, sea and air traffic chaos. There's reports of downing trees and damaging buildings from Germany in the north all the way down to Greece and Italy in the far south of Europe, so they're copping a bit of a belting. Further news looks at the release of an M-class flare from the Sun, this time from sunspot 988, and these sunspots are emerging from the western limb of the Sun, and which means they're moving around, and we'll be feeling the effects of these sunspots in the coming days. They seem to be increasing again after a period of slight rest. Further news looks at a 4.1 magnitude earthquake, this time occurring in one of the largest calderas on the planet, Yellowstone National Park, so seismic activity there. Further news looks at Honolulu, Hawaii, where they've received lava flows for the first time in 25 years, and concern is now raised at the sulfur dioxide which has been released into the atmosphere, and it is now above acceptable limits. So is an imminent eruption likely to occur in Hawaii? Let's wait and see. I think we may know the answer with the advent of climatic variation around the world. Anyway guys, it's the 27th of March 2008. Hope you enjoyed the floods. Check out millicom.com, and it's time to get prepared for some serious activity on the planet Earth, and well, I guess we're all ready for it deep down. Let's get stuck into it. See you guys in the next transmission.
Thanks for watching, superstars. We hope this transmission finds you well. We'll see you tomorrow.